Yes, guys, welcome back to another stream, and it is a title celebration stream. Loads to talk about. We're going to be sort of talking about the Premier League season, do a little bit of a review on it, speak about obviously the game yesterday as well, and much more. Hopefully, you guys are all doing well. Please make sure you drop a like on the stream if you've not done so already. Let's get those likes up, man. Over 150 people tuned in already. We need 6 people for 50 likes, so please make sure you've hit the thumbs up button. Please make sure you are subscribed as well. I've got a cracked panel as always. First of all, we got Luke in his shades. Luke's obviously started a new channel, by the way. City, what is it called? City Luke TV.
Correct, yes.
Boom. It is linked in the description as well, guys. So make sure you go subscribe to him. He's going to get some content out on there. You well, bro?
Yeah, voice is slowly coming back from this morning. Just still on cloud nine from yesterday, really. Don't think I've ever run so much in my life to get on that pitch for the last couple of years. So, yeah, what a brilliant Sunday. Don't think I've ever had a better Sunday in my life, so can't complain at all.
Naughty boy going on that pitch. Naughty that.
Ah, Martin. I got footage of you, bro.
No such footage.
I got footage of you, bro. You got allegations.
116.
He's taking the no comment approach. Okay, big up Bevel.
Anyone from Manchester City, I was not on that pitch yesterday.
Yeah, same.
Well, I don't think they care that much because Big Steve just put a photo of him on it. So, like, you know what I mean? And he works for the club.
He works
So I don't think they care that much, to be honest with you. But big up Luke. You can find his new channel linked in the description, guys. Make sure you go support him. Make sure you go follow him. Bevel, did you get on the pitch?
I didn't, mate. I had my little lad yesterday, so sat and watched it with him. Quality game. It took a few minutes to kind of realise that since he's been born, we've not lost the league. So it's the only thing that he knows. So it's kind of like an annual thing now. So yeah, all good.
I've heard quite a few people in the chat yesterday was like, LB, like my son or my daughter, have just realised they've never seen City not win the title, which is absolutely insane, man. Which is wild. But yeah, big up to you, man. Martin, you didn't go on the pitch yesterday.
Just said that was my evil twin brother.
Yeah.
No, it was a great day. Absolutely fantastic. I was nervous, and then 120 seconds in, the nerves went.
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice. It was good. Big up to you, man. Big up to you. Joe, how you doing, man? You good?
All good, yeah. It's as Martin's saying there, it's nice to just sort of have that had those nerves from yesterday just sort of shifted after, what was it, 79 seconds, I think it was when he scored. It's just like, it's nice to have like obviously not, I think nobody in the ground thought, oh, this is nice and easy when it went 2-1. But it did feel very easy all the way through that game yesterday. It was nice to have one that didn't end up going, we didn't have to claw it back from behind or do something in the last minute. It was just a nice, I don't want to say like a simple procession, but it didn't feel like West Ham really put up much of a fight apart from that one mad moment. So yeah, today's been a good day in work. Just being able to enjoy it.
Nice. And Tone, when are you inviting us all around for the party, man?
No, we've got the 1-1. The 1-1-5 needs to be beaten first. Once that happens, I'll have 30,000 people in the garden. No worries. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. We're just waiting for it to all crash.
I've got a more important question, Matone. Was you on the couch yesterday?
Was a what? Sorry.
Was you on the couch? Was your missus very upset yesterday? Because I know your missus is an arsehole fan, isn't she?
Was I sat on the couch watching the game?
That's what I thought you meant.
Did he end up sleeping on the couch? He had an argument.
No. Not a chance, mate. But I haven't stopped, mate. I've not stopped. I've been talking about it all day. I've been working, still talking about it. All bloody day.
Right, lads. Well, lots to speak about. I am actually just going to go a bit off field here, just because it's literally just broken now. But breaking news coming out from a guy called Gary Jacob. I don't know who he is, but City Extra feel like it's worthwhile tweeting, so we'll go with it. Lucas Paqueta wants to revive a £70 million move to Manchester City this summer. The players' camp are keen for the FA to rule on the gambling allegations against the midfielder, hoping for a decision before the transfer window opens on June 14th. And we have had a few rumours over the last couple of weeks that Paqueta's camp are getting a little bit annoyed with the FA. And are actually considering legal action as to sort of like how long can they just drag out the investigation for. Just before we come on to sort of the league and yesterday, what are our thoughts on Lucas Paqueta? Do we still want him? I've seen some City fans say he's been a bit meh since the last couple of months, but I just think West Ham have been a bit meh for the last couple of months, and therefore he's sort of done that. I'd still take it, and 70 million quid. I honestly think that's great value. You know, he's I think he's third highest on through balls in behind the opposition defences in the Premier League this season. And, you know, if you consider last year, we had 2 players in the top 7 for through balls, Kevin De Bruyne and Gundogan, and we don't have a single player in the top 10 this year. We need a player that can put balls in behind. Bevel, let me come to you on this. Lucas Paqueta, if this gambling allegation does get sorted, because obviously it would have to get sorted, are you still backing it, or have you moved on? What's your take?
Yeah, no, still completely 100% for it. I think it is overshadowed by the allegations, so I've kind of not really thought too much about it. But yeah, he's a quality player, and he's still quite young. I think. I don't think.
I think he's 27 in like June or something.
Yeah. So he's still got a solid 7-6 years in him at top level. Yeah, definitely. I think he's someone that we should be looking at. I think there's a bit of a talent drain in that sort of area at the moment, especially with players that are versatile like he is. You know, he can play out on the left. He can play out in as a cam. I think he would suit us down to a T.
Here's one for you though: Paqueta or Bruno, if you could only pick one.
It's interesting.
Bruno all day.
I did a poll for both. I did one 3 weeks ago and one last week, and they switched. Paqueta was like 70% a few weeks ago, and it switched Bruno G 60% this week.
I've seen that.
I think the only reason I'd say Paqueta is just purely on price. I think if you're just going down to the talents, it's very sort of.
Let's say they're both 80 million, because they're roughly around that release clause, kind of both of them. So let's say both at 80 million.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Bruno was like in the hundreds, but if they are around the same price, then yeah, I'd probably take Bruno.
Hypothetically, then let's say,
I'd take Bruno then. Yeah.
I still think we need to be looking at someone that can cover Rodri though. So if we can only get sort of one player, you know, I think I'd go towards Bruno because we need to get cover for Rodri.
That's my reasoning.
Yeah. But this is the latest tweet. City remain keen to sign Lucas Paqueta on similar terms to last summer, when they were willing to pay 70 million, with an 85 million pound release clause at West Ham becoming active next month. Paqueta's agents are already believed to have agreed personal terms with Man City, which we already know because they agreed personal terms last year. It all depends on these allegations, man. You know what I mean? Like, what are they doing with them? And we did see, like...
How did Tonali get sorted out? So, I mean, I know that Tonali had, like, the FA in Italy investigating him for months and, like, Italian teammates grassing on him and stuff like that. But, like, how can this be taken? Like, it's nearly a year since these allegations came out about Paqueta. And I don't understand how...
Joe, the FA have a timeline. So the English FA is very different. I don't know why. The English FA have a timeline. So when they charge you, they have so long to prove that. And apparently next week is the deadline of when that timeline's up.
How many times have we heard though? Next week.
Did Ivan Toney take this long? Because I'm sure Toney had like I know.
Yeah, I think Ivan Toney took a while.
Yeah, no,
it took a while.
It wasn't a full season for Toney though, was it? Because like it got to the. I know that it was towards the back end of that season before he got done in the summer. It was a lot of. Imagine how gutted you'd be if like Tony, like, because I think Toney scored against Arsenal, did he? So Arsenal fans were fuming because obviously like he was, you know, due to be banned for gambling.
I think it was about 7 or 8 months, to be fair. So it wasn't
now.
Also, Tonali kind of admitted it straight away.
Yeah.
So,
and I think
I'm trying to think the best way to put it is like the Everton Forest scenario. They admitted guilt on their FFP, so it got sorted quicker. Basically, Paqueta's going to City and denied everything, so it's going to take longer to go through the process because he's denying all allegations, like City have with the 115.
And it's actually more complex as well because he didn't actually put the bets on.
No,
So they've got to try and find a connection between Lucas Paqueta and obviously his friends and family to prove that he told him. Whereas Tonali
and it
put
was
the
his
bets on
own
himself.
sponsors that did it as well.
Exactly, I know that's the maddest thing. That's the maddest thing. But yeah, anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up because it's literally breaking news. It's literally come out as we went live. So I
They
thought
did
we'd
have a
speak about it.
conversation yesterday, by the way. Don't know if
Pardon?
anyone caught that. Pep and Paqueta did have a few words privately with each other at the end.
Yeah, not entirely surprising, I suppose. I'd still take him. I know he's not done particularly well in the last couple of months, but you know he's probably getting frustrated with the whole situation. West Ham have sort of like not ended the season particularly strongly, so I don't think I'm going to read too much into that, to be honest with you. But yeah, we'll have to wait to see.
Yeah, he's had a good season though, LB, and the fact he's had a good season without hanging over him probably speaks to his credit. West Ham have switched off a month ago, so him switching off as part of that team, you know, it's not ideal, but yeah, I wouldn't change my mind on him based on the last 4 or 5 weeks. Certainly not.
Yeah, no, I agree. Right, well, there you go. Smash a like on the stream, guys, if you've not done so already. Make sure you subscribe as well. We're going to speak about yesterday and the season as a whole. How are you lads feeling after yesterday, man? Yeah, I mean, it was Phil Foden for me. Wow, you know, I mean, a lot of BS has been spoken about Phil Foden over the last weeks, over these sort of awards and that. People saying he's not stood up in the big moments. Well, yesterday he stood up in one of the biggest moments, a game that we had to win the Premier League. And as one of you lads said earlier, you know what I mean? We're going into the game, always some nerves because you need to win. And within 90 seconds, the guy rifles one into the top bins. And then 15 minutes later, scores the second one to put us 2-0 up. I mean, I thought it was absolutely insane yesterday. I thought that the amount of space he got on the ball, he made things happen. He was quick. He went looking for the ball, which sometimes he doesn't do. It was just insane, and I just think it's a great way to end the season. You know, he's been voted Player of the Year, gets 2 goals on the final day, a day that we need to win. Martin, I'll come to you. Phil Foden, and just genuinely thoughts on yesterday, bro.
Phil Foden rightly deserves all the plaudits he's got. I know Rodri. I've always said Rodri's the most important, but Foden's been the best. That makes sense. I know, because without Rodri, we know we don't function as a team. But Foden has stepped up so much this season. He's had so many clutch moments. He's took on the mantle. You just see, you know, at the end of the game how what Pep was like when Foden got on that podium yesterday. He was the one player that Pep went to and made a real big sort of fuss of. You know, was even styling his hair for him, which was quite funny. I just think he's been an absolute revelation because he was turning into everything we always thought he could be. And on yesterday, I thought, same as part of the last few weeks, I thought we were quick, we were tempo. Yeah, it got a little bit nervy in parts, but City could have gone up 2 or 3 gears if they really, really wanted to get through that yesterday. I think they went 2-0 up and then lowered the gears down, which is not always to everyone's liking. I understand. You want to see 8-0s, 9-0s, etc. Everyone wants them. But I'm so proud of this lot. To go 33, 34 games unbeaten, it is off the back of a treble as well. He's mad. We've lost 3 games. We've ended up being the top goal scorers in the league.
Yeah.
The goal difference was like plus 77 a month ago. We're now at 0.
Yeah.
This team, for me, it's a weird one. It's one of the worst things this team could have done was come off the back of a treble team, because I don't think this team will ever get the plaudits they properly deserve because of what happened last season.
Yeah,
and that's just me, but I'm so proud of them.
I think we can still even break records this season. I think again,
double.
Yeah, but I think it's also a case of no team has ever done back-to-back league and FA Cup doubles. So I think I was listening to something last night saying that. So again, there's still records to be had there, even regardless of the treble last year. So again, another record to be broken, and the big one breaking Fergie's 3 in a row. So
well, it's
that
4.
was the main one.
It'd be a quad as well this season, by the way. That would be a quad. And
Yeah.
how many would that be? reinforce a. Look, I've done my maths there. See, I'm an accountant. 7 trophies in a year would be. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Just to quickly say, I was having a look at the trophies Pep had won at City. 17 in 8 years, could be 18 if he wins the FA Cup, or if City win the FA Cup. 18 in 8 years, over 2 a bloody season. And 38 trophies total he's won in his career. I mean,
that's actually mad, isn't it? It's actually mad. Did you guys see my tweet that I did this morning? Did you guys see this? Oscar Bob and Stefan Ortega. That's Premier League minutes, yeah? Oscar Bob played 291 minutes. Stefan Ortega played 621 minutes, yeah? They were in the bottom 3 for City in terms of minutes played. The only one that had lower than them was Sergio Gomez, who, is what it is. And arguably, they provided the 2 biggest moments of the whole season. Of course, with the goal at Newcastle in the last seconds of the game. And then that save from Stefan Ortega against Spurs. I mean, someone commented on actually and said, basically, it proves that it's a squad game. It's a team game. And I really like that. I really like that the 2 biggest moments, or 2 of the biggest moments, have been scored and saved by 2 of the players that have played the least. It's just insane. It shows just how important it is to have a good squad, man. It's actually insane. It's insane. Big up to both of them. Ortega again yesterday didn't have much to do. Couldn't do much with a goal, to be fair. But distribution, whatever little distribution he had, was class. But yeah, I just thought that was quite interesting. It's a bit of a shame really. Oscar Bob didn't get too many more minutes after that Newcastle game, innit? But I think next year he'll get some chances.
Yeah.
For sure. Fingers crossed.
It's the mentality, in my opinion. I keep coming back to it. The mentality of this squad team, what Pep's ingrained, is remarkable, and I still think it's understated. You look at the Tottenham one. Did we play well? No. Were we the better team? No. Against a good team, mentality won us that game. I think pure knowing how to win a game, despite being under it, won us that game and has won us this title. They're just remarkable how they do it, and how Pep keeps them going year after year. Is unbelievable.
Tone, let me ask you a question. Do you think those 2 moments were the 2 biggest moments in the season, or is there anything else for you?
I'm just trying to think back now. I think those are certainly 2 of the one. I'm trying to think who we played. We played Fulham just before Tottenham, didn't we? Forest was a big one, but no, I think those 2, I think you've got the right ones. Yeah, for sure. People keep saying Son missed. He didn't miss. Ortega, great save. So, you're quite...
I think one of the biggest moments of the season is actually not even our fault. It's Arsenal drawing 0-0 at our place. I think they went... Them going into that, I think someone's alluded to it here in one of the super chats.
You're going to rattle a cage.
Yeah, they don't like this, Joe. They don't like it.
Mate, I've just seen that Lee Gunner's done a fucking 6-hour stream about sacking Arteta. I don't think it can get much worse than that. No one can get more rattled than that. They came to, as Rodri put it at the end of the game, they came to the Etihad thinking, just get a draw. And to be fair, don't get me wrong, I've gone into many games of us against Liverpool at Anfield, for instance, as a fan, thinking, sweet, if we get a draw from this, lovely. But the players don't go into the games thinking we want to draw. The players go into the game thinking, let's try and win. And Arteta very much came to, and I actually kind of defended him for doing so, because at the end of the day, it's a game where they lost last year. So you've gained a point on the previous season by getting that draw. And they put themselves in a position where all they had to do, I say all they had to do, it's obviously very difficult, but all they had to do was just win out their games, and they would at least finish ahead of us and just rely on Liverpool to drop points. But obviously, as we've seen, but as we all kind of knew at the time, it's really just not that simple. And banking on yourself to win, was it 10 or 11 games that they had to win after that?
9
they had to win after that, and expecting us to drop more points than them, given our track record when it gets to the end of the season, is it's mad that not only that. I think it says a lot about Arteta that's how he approached the game. I don't know. I think they must have they must have mapped out in their head sort of the maths of where they thought City were going to win or drop points. They must have literally gone, City have still got to play Spurs at their ground. Like, they're going to drop points there. He must have bought into my narrative of Spurs away and decided to go full, well, it doesn't matter. We just got to win all our games. And in absolute fairness to them, they were one game away from... They dropped point once between then and the end of the season, and it wasn't enough. But that mentality that Tone's talking about there, in terms of us just being able to just we draw against Arsenal, and it looks to a lot of people like this could just well be the year that we don't do it, and they just pulled like 9-10 wins out of their arse on the row, and that's it, and we've won the league. And Arsenal, on the other hand, came to the Etihad at a time where, honestly, we looked gettable. We looked like a team that you could score goals against if you went at us. Our defence was not good going into that game. And Arsenal thought, you know what, 0-0's fine here, boys. And
that's the thing that the mentality comes into again. Because if you're going to win a league, you've got to go and beat the best. And you can't just settle for that draw. And that's their downfall, really. As Rodri said in that interview, you don't go away from home and try. Obviously, we've had our issues in the past at Liverpool at Anfield, but we're still trying to go for the win. We're not trying to just sit back and take a draw, whereas Arsenal looked for the full 95 minutes. They just were happy with the 0-0. And in my opinion, you're never going to win a league doing that. You've got to go out and beat the best. And
I don't disagree, bro. And I said at the time, listen, what he done is, he essentially went, like Joe said, after the City game, I back Arsenal. This is Arteta speaking. I back Arsenal to better or match City's points in the final 9 games. Yeah. That's what he did. He set himself up for a challenge, and unfortunately for Arsenal, fortunately for us, he didn't do that. You know what I mean? And in fact, I think
up the Villa.
Up the Villa, man. You know what I mean? But he probably looked at City's fixtures after the Arsenal game and went, they've got to play Villa. They've got to play Spurs. But then again, we only had 2 games. They still had to play. They still had to play Villa.
They had to go to Chelsea.
They had to play United. They had to play Spurs. So if anything, you would have looked at the fixtures and gone, actually, we and the thing is as well, right? I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure if they would have beaten us that day, I'm pretty sure they would have been like 5 points ahead of us or something like that.
Yeah, the gap would have been massive.
It would have been, and with a superior goal difference as well. You know what I mean? So it would have been like pretty big. So I do feel that like, with a draw, the draw was chill. Yeah, obviously it's a good point to get a point at City, but like it's the mentality thing. You know what I mean? And it's like I don't think football is much about mentality and psychology as it is as it plays on the pitch. And it happened last year. If you remember, because last year we was meant to play Arsenal, right? And obviously Queen died, so it got postponed. And we didn't play them until we played them in the FA Cup. And up until that point, I was like, oh, they look pretty sick, they look pretty dangerous. And then he come to the Etihad, he rotated his whole back line, we beat them, and I guarantee everyone on this panel went, we can catch these. But we played a weakened Arsenal team, but it didn't matter because the psychology, the mentality was like, now we beat them, now we can do it. So, and I think that's why City is so good. You know what I mean? You listen to some of the stuff these players are saying. Did you hear the stuff that Kyle Walker and Rodri, I think, and maybe Bernardo Silva went to Pep Guardiola and said, if we're
Five
fit,
captains, wasn't it? Yeah.
They went to Pep Guardiola and said to him, with like after the Arsenal game with 9 games to go, said, if we say we can play us, push us to our limits. Like, don't be resting us. Don't be resting us. We want to play. We want to win. And I just think that the mentality at City is just like elite. It's elite mentality. And having players, by the way, like Haaland, who have an ego, you see this with Ronaldo. Yeah, constantly driving for success, constantly pushing himself and not being happy with what they win and all that kind of stuff. They're constantly looking to improve. And now I'm in a position where I'm like, next year, just go again and just do it again. 5p, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, their star boy walks off with a limp when he has a stinker, so...
Yeah. Let me have
that says it all, really. That says it all.
Let me come to some of these super chats, Luke. Big up to Dr. Footy. Says 4 in a row. Never doubt the king of Manchester. Big up to Dr. Footy. LB says, I hope the boys ain't too hungover for Saturday. Nah, they'll be right, bro. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. Hopefully. Taz says, you're proud. 115 and the strongest team made from oil.
There it is.
Sit down, you
We've had
one. Yeah, I know.
Come on.
I know, man.
Yeah, I'm very proud. Well, thanks for your 5.
Thanks for your dono.
Thanks for your
City
dono.
going down with $1 billion in the bank. $1 billion in the bank. Okay,
He didn't like that. He did not like that at all. LB says Rodri is really, really, really rattled Arsenal fans. Bro, Arsenal fans get rattled so easy, man. It's unbelievable. Like, they just, as well, what they do is they purposely miss the point to
It's
make
the
a rebuttal.
entitlement.
They purposely missed the point of what Rodri said, yeah, to make their thing. No one said you lost the league at City necessarily. Like, the point's a good point, but you missed the point of him what he's saying. The fact that you didn't try again, that boosts City. Because City would have got in that dressing room and gone, these guys didn't even try, man. We're not letting these guys win it. You know what I mean? It's all about mentality.
Don't even blame it on that game. Fucking Fulham away, Aston Villa at home.
Yep.
You've dropped points everywhere.
West Ham.
Liverpool.
Yeah. 100%.
Don't blame it on us.
Big up to Keon, says Fabrizio, company to Bayern Munich, and big up the team for being amazing. Yeah, they're just like literally rattling through every manager going at the moment, aren't they? Bayern Munich.
I thought it'd end up with Brighton, but Bayern, wow.
Yeah, I don't think Burnley I don't think company make the move to Brighton. You know, I don't think it's a big enough step up for him. But obviously Bayern Munich, that's pretty.
Well, I always thought company would go on the proper, like track.
Graham Potter ladder.
The sensible route,
to go from Burnley to Bayern, or because that's why he didn't want to take the City job, because he was like, I want to earn the City job. But surely he'd want to earn the Bayern job as well.
Yeah, I don't think he'll take it. I think they just
a huge jump from Burnley to Bayern.
I just wonder with Bayern though, why are people turning them down? Previously
they're a mess, mate.
The whole structure's fucked. They've lost. I think it was. I can't say his name. I tried to say it on an Insta Live the other day. Is it Hal Hammerzic or something?
Yeah.
He's left. He left them intact. Well, not him, but I think it's just like early Hoeneß, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge are just so old-fashioned, and they just won't change the structure of the club and the way that they'll go forward. And I think they're just a mess from the inside out at the minute.
LB, can I just make a comment on like you just said about the Arsenal? I think some Arsenal fans have missed the point. It's not about nobody's having a dig at Arsenal's team. I think every City man would put their hand on their heart and go, Arsenal have been amazing this season, footballing wise and everything else. Some Arsenal fans have decided they've got selective memory all of a sudden. And when you say to them, some have gone way over and it's I've made this point 1,000 times and don't think anyone's understood it. It's never been about celebrating. Celebrate, I get it. But there's a difference, because there's now a video come out today, I put it on my Twitter, is that from October when we got beat 1-0. And there's videos of Arsenal fans outside the Emirates telling us we're finished and we're crap and that they're going to win the league.
I saw that,
and we're coming out the top 4. And then they deny it all and say, nope, we've never said that. Nobody's ever said that. It's fans on Twitter that do that. Oh, these are fans who were at the ground.
Yeah.
Because I know there were City fans at the Emirates at that time saying that's what was being said coming out the ground.
Yeah.
Just own it and go, you know what? We jumped the gun again. For the second year running, we've jumped the gun.
Yeah, but Martin, I was told that if Saliba was fit all season, they'd win the league. I'm sorry, you've got Saliba.
Oh, no.
I was told that Saka's better than Foden. Like, I think I don't know what's going on.
I've seen several tweets about that.
It's
I
like
thought Gabriel Jesus was the answer to all their striker
problems. You're not allowed to praise Arsenal unless you say they are the Galacticos of the world. That's what I mean. You can't praise them.
It's crazy. Like every City fan that I ever speak to at games, we are literally so pessimistic, and it's just that typical City on the horizon that we all think is going to happen. And there's obviously younger people that kind of are so optimistic and kind of like these Arsenal fans on the football Twitter and whatever. But I will literally never say it is ours until either we're well ahead and can't be traced.
Yeah.
Or like even yesterday, I think the tummy was rumbling and just sheer nerves because you're like, oh, what could go wrong? Not if the league is ours. Never.
That's ironically. Go on.
That's historical. That though. That's just from, that's just from being there and experiencing it.
You're waiting for West Ham to go 2-0 up and be like, oh, for fuck's sake, not again.
There's one thing that I do want to add to that thing about Arsenal yesterday, though, and that's big up that Everton fan that leaked that West Ham had gone 2-2.
yeah.
Absolute comedy goal.
Oh no!
Is that what it was? Was it an Everton fan?
Yeah.
An Everton fan said that West Ham had equalised.
Oh, that's class.
Comedy goal.
The
Unreal.
best part of that was there was a woman in the crowd doing who was
Yeah,
it?
doing the
Havertz
two.
or
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
two. I think it's the Havertz, and he's going, yeah.
My favourite will always be the Villa win, where
Where someone said to Salah. Yeah.
Salah
scores,
isn't
doesn't
it?
he?
You can see
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
on the ground going like, "No, mate, it's
3-2.
It's like, yeah, it's just like you can see they're just like, nah, game over."
I think I've seen a TikTok for that before, and it's like the Simon and Garfunkel song where it's like, "Hello, darkness, my old friend."
Yeah.
It's just Salah's face dropping.
It's just it is crazy. I mean, they almost didn't win yesterday either. That would have been mad if they didn't win that game yesterday. And they were a very fortunate handball call away from from drawing that. And you know, I'm not going to say conspiracy, but I think if City were genuinely like ropey at that point, they might have looked a bit more. They got given that handball decision in their favour because everyone knew it didn't matter and that City were going to win the league. I think it's just.
But Joe,
Yeah.
can you imagine, mate,
If that had won in the league? Yeah.
Can you imagine that? And the West Ham goal would have been given.
Yeah, that's what I was just.
Not even the
thinking
hand
there.
of God. That's not even married. That was volleyball
Yeah.
stuff. I can't believe they spent so long looking at it. I'm like, surely they're not going to take this long.
Yeah.
Well, they initially gave the goal.
Obvious.
I can't believe they gave it. Fucking Wolves
Yeah.
want to scrap VAR. Like, no, thank you. If that's going to be counted otherwise, then yeah.
Someone
How
tweeted
did
me
the
and said,
referee
"LB,
miss
I bet
that?
you're happy that VAR's still in there because I'm VAR out." But
Yeah.
that would have been a pretty.
He had his hand up here. It wasn't even like, I don't know what
I
the ref
know.
must have just turned his back at that
It was a
point.
bad call. It was a bad call.
He just throws his forearm at it like that. Just.
I know. Souček knew though, didn't he? The guy was laughing. He was just like,
I'm going to choose to be kind and say that because the ref knew that VAR would overturn it, he thought, "I'll wait and we'll see what happens." But yeah, if that was going to just get given without VAR, then I'm also anti VAR. But my God, like if that was going to be given otherwise, I think that'd be
Would have been interesting to see if there was about 5 minutes left and we were all level pegging. What would have even done with that decision?
Yeah.
The ref would have got out alive.
Did anyone notice?
I'll go, Luke. Go on, mate.
No, I just don't know if it's just literally from that game. Obviously, them on about scrapping VAR, but Bev or like Martin, if you were there, did you notice that the replays actually came on the camera straight away on the TVs? So do you think they're starting to make these changes now?
It was very quick.
Is it not up to the? It's up to the club that's in the ground.
No, they don't normally have it, but it was very suspicious how literally as soon as that decision was made for the Souček handball, it was straight up on the TVs.
Yeah,
replaying it.
As in the ref gave it. As in the ref overturned it, and then it was immediately up on the screens.
Yes.
But that's because so apparently when it's it's up to the home team what they do with the replays. So obviously City have decided to just go right. We'll just whack it up there so everyone can see it. But yeah,
that's never been at the Etihad before when VAR decisions have been overturned.
It might just be because I mean I don't think that's because it was a goal that was disallowed on it. I don't know if it was a red card challenge or something that went to VAR. They might not have done it. I think the FA don't let them do that. But with it being
there was a
goal
couple, Joe, and I don't know what was the second one. There was a couple that because we all went they're showing the replays right. We all said that don't normally do that. Now whether it's like they felt game kind of. It was a weird one because we were 20 minutes. When we went 3-1 up, it did feel like game, done dusted. Yeah. So I don't know if that was the case. It was weird though, or it could be that because they're looking at or some are trying to scrap VAR, are they trying to now change it and make it more fan friendly? I
don't think that's fan friendly though if it goes against us.
Yeah, well then they probably don't play it. So I guess that's what Joe's saying. You know what I mean? I don't know. Listen, I'm going to ask you guys a question. We've spoken about Foden, how good he's been this season. I want to ask each one of you who deserves praise, who maybe doesn't always get the praise. Before we do, big up to Dashmesh. Yeah, it says for Peat, Foden showed why he's Player of the Year, best team in England, English League history. Big up everyone. Big up Dashmesh. And big up to Jason, who says Arsenal fans has a lot of mouth, yet they are so easily rattled. Hashtag 4Peat. Hashtag City till I die. Big up Jace. Yeah, for me, like someone who deserves credit, I'm probably gonna I'm gonna throw out a Kanji now. I know he's had a lot of credit sort of towards the back end of the season, but like outside of the City fan base, I don't hear no one speaking about him. I feel like in the wider media, he's gone massively underrated. Yes, he tried to sabotage us against Spurs, but that was one situation, and ultimately we didn't concede, so it's a chill. I think he's been our best defender this year. A lot of people agree with me, and I just think that like he's stepped in, and he's done a lot of the role that John Stones has done at times, stepping into the midfield. We've not seen it too much in the second half of the season because Pep's changed the way we play, but earlier in the season we've seen him that left back, right back, centre back. The guy's done it all. He's constantly playing with different players, which also doesn't help, and he just puts in solid performances. So I'm going to give my praises to Akanji. But yeah, I just wanted to ask you guys, like, does anyone in particular come to your mind that you don't feel like maybe Kovacic? I've seen a couple of people say this guy's not got the credit. What do you guys think? Throw some names out, man.
For me, it has to be Gvardiol. For many reasons. Firstly, he's stepping into a role he's never done before, into a team he's never played with before. And not only that, he's also really young, and he will have seen what people have been calling him throughout the season, calling him like flop of the season, this, that, and the other. And the amount of pressure that this young lad's had on his shoulders, and he's just ridden it right the way through. Consistently just 7, 8 out of 10 performances week in, week out. He's come up with goals in games where we needed goals, Real Madrid away being one of them. I think just overall, he's just been absolutely fantastic. And with the pressure on his shoulders, that's got to count for something.
He's unbelievable. I can't believe that anyone at any point of the season was talking about him being a flop. It's just even in that first half of the season, which is when after about 3, it was around November, December time when people were starting to say that he's been a bit of a flop. He's been a lot of money's been spent on him. He's maybe not justifying it. I was thinking, I don't know what anyone else is watching. He was very good from the early. I think it took him because we played him a couple of games at centre back, didn't we? But then I think Pep decided that out wide where he's so good at passing, doing those progressive passes up the pitch. It doesn't make sense to keep him at centre back when you can have him going further up left and sort of creating space for other people to pass into. And I think that's sort of when he's become a lot better. There's it's kind of like with Walker on the opposite wing, playing him so high and wide means that he is going to be defensively a bit suspect from time. If they've got a counter-attack going the other way with someone with pace, he's going to leave space behind it. But that's part of what he's told to do. So it's kind of, it's the job of the other defenders to cover that at that point.
What I would add to it as well, though, is there's been a lot of key moments this season where defensively he's gone above and beyond. Yeah. For example, the time that sticks in my head where it was when we played Newcastle and there was 3 attackers and he was the only defender.
Oh my God, that was unreal.
Somehow he managed to keep it out. Things like that. And then you've got the fact that he's a centre-back playing essentially left winger. He's just absolutely fantastic. And do you know what? Pay him another 76 million because I don't think it was.
The guy's 21 years old. It's insane.
22 now, I think.
Oh, is he 22? Yeah,
22.
The thing is, like you said about him being left wing, like yesterday, he even goes past players. He's bloody backheeling it on the opposition box.
Yeah.
I think he used to play right winger as a youngster, though. I think he does have some attacking ability in him.
He?
Yeah. I remember listening to an interview and saying that he started off as a right winger, then went into midfield, and then went into centre back as he developed.
Right. The big thing for me for Gvardiol to prove just how good he is. Yeah, early in the season, I was like, Gvardiol can play left back. It's chill. As soon as we get to the big Champions League games, I want Ake in. By the time I got there, I was like, I'm chill. Gvardiol can stay there. So he changed my mind. By the time we got to that Real Madrid game, early on in the season, I was like, Ake's obviously going to play against Real Madrid. Ake's going to play those games. So by the time we got there, I was like, I'm calm with him there. Because something that I didn't realise how good he was, he's actually a really good, out-and-out defender.
He's
Like a lot of
rapid
the
as
time,
well.
you get these players who are like good on the ball. Like the defending ain't always the best. You know what I mean? Whereas he's actually a really good defender. He's a really good wide defender as well. I keep on mentioning Laporte, but that's why effectively Laporte wouldn't have worked in this system at all because he can't defend out wide, and that's what Gvardiol can do. And yeah, Bevel, you are right. You know, he is a player that defo hasn't got enough credit. Again, especially from the wider media. I do think towards the end, this last month or so, they're starting to notice that actually this guy is. I think really the goal at the Bernabeu sort of like where everyone went, whoa, Jesus, and then people started to take note. But yeah,
It's a bit stupid that everyone's like, everyone now that he's scoring goals, everyone's
course
thinking,
it
oh yeah,
is.
everyone's thinking, oh yeah, he is worth 76 million. It's like, what are you doing? Like he's a defender and he's been very good all season, but because he's scored some goals in the last 6 or 7 games, now the neutral fans are all like, oh yeah, he's actually really good. I mean, it's like, yeah, but he's idiots, man. So
I have another one.
Seriously.
Oh, go on.
No, go on, Tony. If you finish about Gvardiol, I know you love him, so.
Yeah, no. I was going to bring up another name. I know I've been called a fanboy about 20 times this week on Gvardiol. And they're right. I am. I openly admit it. I was going to bring up another one, and I'm really sorry, Luke, if you're going to say the same. He's been with us a while, but I still don't think he gets the full appreciation. Not so much from City fans, but elsewhere is Bernardo.
No, I wasn't going to say him, actually. So
yeah, you see, I think certainly other fans or ones that I know go, Bernardo, yeah, he's all right. Don't really notice him much. He's just constantly, and he's not at his best season this season, but again at the clinical moments he's turned up. Again, Bernardo, and I thought he did again yesterday and Tottenham and all these games. He just
did anyone see anything from Bernardo yesterday in the celebrations that made you thought, oh, he's off? Because I didn't.
No, I didn't.
No.
How does a player who's about to leave celebrate? Like everyone.
Yeah. Well, Jeremy Doku. When I watched Jeremy Doku for Stade Rennes, he did a 360 clap of the stadium. He went and hugged the captain before he got subbed off, and then as he got subbed off, he give the manager a massive hug. That was someone that was leaving.
Technically, next week is his last game, and
yeah,
so we'll see. Then I think we'll go from that point on.
Yeah. There was rumors yesterday because they were going to plan something that was coming out from not just City fans, coming from internal groups, fan groups as well. They were going to do something to plan, but I'm not sure the pitch invasion stopped all that. I don't know because I've been when that pitch invasion began.
By the way, did you hear Gary Neville fucking crying?
Oh,
about
mate, he's an idiot. It's so stupid. Like when it came to the actual full-time whistle, and he was like, "Oh, it'd be a real it's a real shame they can't celebrate this out on the pitch." It's like they're going to in 15 minutes when they come back out.
Yeah,
like, what are you about?
It wasn't about 15 minutes. It was about 45 minutes, though.
Well, you know what I mean.
I've never seen them go around the pitch as quick. Normally, they spend 40 minutes at the south stand and then start coming. They were literally there, and that was it. They were gone. They
literally trying to get off that pitch was so funny. He was twisting people left, right, and
got sent. He broke his ankles.
The Bernardo one's really weird because he's got the release clause. He's only contracted till 2026. So if he doesn't go this summer, you're basically going, you're going to get less than 50 next summer because no one's going to pay 50 in his last year. So then you're into his last year and you let him go for free. And then do you still need 2 midfielders?
Yeah, but I'm calm with letting him go for free.
Yes,
back from the other side, would you need a Paqueta then?
This is exactly what I was going to say.
Do you need a Paqueta in Bernardo? Because where's Paqueta going?
Yeah, Paqueta, Bruno G, Neves, all these people you can forget about if Bernie stays.
But is Bernardo not a right winger?
You're going to sit on the bench.
Bernardo's not. Bernardo is a centre mid.
He is exactly, Joe. He's a right winger, isn't it? You know what I mean? He hardly plays midfield. So I think Bernardo. I'm chill with letting him go for free in 2 years' time if it means that we get him for another 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd rather.
He'll be what? He'll be 33 then, won't he? Will he be?
No, he'll be 31. He's pretty young, Bernardo now.
He's 29. He's 29. He's 30.
I thought he was 31. My bad.
Yeah.
The one thing I'd say about Bernardo is finding that player that because
Yeah.
essentially Bernardo outruns everybody every game without fail.
Mm.
And you need to find that player that is willing to put in those miles. I don't think that Paqueta kind of fits that bill. Paqueta is brilliant, don't get me wrong, but I don't think that work rate is kind of the same.
Do you think Bruno fits that profile though?
No.
He
Better
does
than
more.
Paqueta.
But no,
He does more in
I
terms
get
of the
all that.
work rate.
And I get you need a bigger squad, but ideally you're probably going to use more Nunes. What you doing with Kovacic? You got Bernardo, you got KDB. Yeah, we'll play less. Still got Phil Foden. Then we want to add Bruno because you're going to end up. Oh, by the way, you got Rico, who's probably going to be used more as a midfielder than a fullback. You're going to run out. I know we've got 3 or 4 extra games, but you're just going to fall straight back into the problem in the big games there.
I think with our midfield though, like you said there, we've got De Bruyne, who surely next season you've got to be looking at reducing his minutes a bit, somewhat. Like maybe not to the point where you're going like full backup player kind of thing, but he's not going to play every game like he has done in the second half of this season. Yeah. Kovacic, likewise, I think he's kind of very much a short-term stopgap kind of. He was meant to be Gundogan's backup initially, wasn't he? So he's not going to be again playing every game. So really, you want of a solid every game 3-man midfield, we don't really have it. We've got Rodri and Foden, but then that third player could be one of 2 or 3 people, and we for me, like if we could sign a Bruno or a Paqueta, or whoever it is that ends up being, I think Bruno's probably better for it, or for what we need, and then you have like more options to rotate. Whereas at the moment, we've got 2 players in De Bruyne and Kovacic who we should be looking at reducing their minutes. Obviously, I think Kovacic's minutes this season are fine. I'm happy with him just doing that again next season. But De Bruyne should be reducing his minutes. Bernardo, realistically, I think he probably is on the way out. Someone will pay 50 mil for him, and it's just whether it's someone Bernardo likes or not. I imagine he's quite content to go somewhere else.
That's what I mean. I'm not saying I don't want. I'm not saying you don't want a bigger squad. Of course you do. I'm just. There was a reason Mahrez and all them left. Because they weren't playing. Yeah, players still want to play the certain games.
Nah, Mahrez left because the Saudis come in and said, I was about 500 grand a week tax free.
No, but LB, he said it himself on the way out. Didn't want to play against Sheffield United in the semi-final. When he got to Bayern Munich and Real Madrid, LB, he played 0 minutes virtually.
Yeah, but Gundogan played played the entire run into the end of the season.
Those are the games players want to play. It's very hard to sell a dream of, you're going to play and everything else, but you've got Fulham away. You don't want to wear that. And I know it's up to them to prove that point, and they've got to come in and believe they're good enough to go in. But why the Bruno Rodri works, because it'd be a double pivot, probably, where Bruno works alongside Rodri. It'd be a bigger, harder sell, because we've said it for ages, to do a Calvin Phillips and go, you're backup to Rodri. You can't sell it as a backup to Rodri. You've got to sell it as you're going to be with Rodri.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's why, for me, Bruno, if City do go for it, it does make sense, because ultimately, we have to find someone who can help Rodri out.
Palmer left for the same reason, game time.
Yeah, but Cole Palmer was different.
We can't keep buy, and no one goes out.
Yeah, that's right.
People will go out though, won't they? Bernardo will probably leave.
I'm saying if Bernardo stays.
Yeah. Squad size.
Bernardo's a winger.
Well, we only have one right winger, don't we? Because Jeremy Doku doesn't really play on the right that much.
Well, you got Oscar Bob. Still got Grealish.
But he clearly doesn't trust Oscar Bob at this moment in time, does he? Otherwise, he would have played more minutes.
But say you get Frimpong, can play right hand side. Walker can do that if he wants to do the overlap. All depends on the system.
I think Walker's gone anyway.
I hope so.
Well, did you hear his interview yesterday? He said he's going nowhere.
Is that what he said?
Fucking hell.
Yeah, said he's going absolutely. By the way, I thought he was man of the match yesterday.
I thought he's played all right actually in the last month or so. I know he's had maybe 1 or 2 games, but I think he's actually been all right. No, but the point is people will leave though, man. If we get Bruno, and Savio comes in, do we need anyone else?
Savio, there you go, got another one.
Yeah, but then that's fine, because then you've got Savio and Bernardo who can play right wing, and you've got Doku and Grealish who can play left wing.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Then you wouldn't need Paqueta.
No, that's fine.
I agree with that.
No, I agree. Yeah. I agree. You don't need Paqueta then. If you get
you need Bruno.
You need Bruno. You need Bruno.
But all the noises are they're going after both. So does that mean Bernardo?
But that means they. But you're talking in a world where Bernardo
But-
isn't leaving. But
Exactly.
I think the club seem pretty convinced that he is leaving. In which case they're going for Paqueta.
Exactly.
They'll have prepared for both options. I think they're testing the waters for both. And if obviously Bernardo leaves, they'll be like, right, we'll instill.
But
this.
either way, like
Okay.
I think if you know players are going to leave, get the replacements in now. Like if De Bruyne's on his if this is De Bruyne's final season or he's on the wind down, I want De Bruyne's replacement in now, so that when
I've
De
said
Bruyne
that.
does go, he's ready to step in. I don't want us to wait for him to leave before we sign his replacement, because then you've got the problem of whoever is replacing him has to fit in and learn the system, whilst we've also lost one of our greatest ever players. And I think we just need to the idea that we're signing players and we might have one or two extra midfielders for a season or so. That's fine. Like if that means that when the big boys do leave, that we've got someone who's ready made to step in. And
The only problem with that is if he's signing someone like Havertz or Musiala, because then they ain't going to agree with it.
They want game time,
But then again, I suppose if you're signing someone of the quality of Musiala or Havertz, then that's
they do
probably
start.
Then they start. But you wouldn't be that arsed about them joining the year that KDB left. What you don't want to see is KDB to leave, and then us sign someone who's a bit unknown, or someone like that, and then be like, right, you're not a new KDB. And it's like, whoa, you know what I mean? He needs a year.
It's no coincidence that a lot of the midfielders we've been linked with are all 26.
I think it's an experience thing. I think they want
he's
people
going
to come
after
in.
a certain bracket of
He
experience.
wants people to come in and hit the ground running. We've had a few seasons where we've bought younger players, and sometimes, like we always say, the season after is the time that they come in and hit the ground running. But I think he wants players for the here and now, especially if he isn't staying longer than next season. He wants players to come in and do the job instantly.
Wasn't Calvin Phillips 26 though when we bought him? Sorry, I don't want to
but Calvin Phillips should never have been bought.
Did you see Calvin Phillips in the dressing room celebrating with them all?
He's getting a medal, isn't he?
He's getting his medal. He was like, "Yeah, I'm part of this." What? Where do you come from?
Or as I like to call him, fucking Gunner.
Jeez.
The last one.
Right, let me go through some of these super chats, man. Big up to LB says Bruno G ran the most distance this season. So that he falls into the bracket for me. You know what I mean? It's I think that's a smart. And by the way, that can get done quite quickly because apparently this release clause, there are a little bit of discrepancies on it, but apparently
he is going to Australia though. He is on the plane to Australia with Newcastle. But apparently his agent's talking this week, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Is it the Copa America this summer as well? So we'll be there no matter what, won't we? So he's not going to be.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, we're done quickly though, Joe, because his release clause.
Yeah. Well, it's a release clause, isn't it?
It's only till the end of June though. So it's got to be done before.
There are a couple of people who've said that release clause is only for non-English teams, but I don't think that's true.
His father was at Brentford yesterday and told all the Newcastle fans he's going nowhere.
All right, okay.
Now his dad might just be playing that as a.
Who are we getting then?
I'm not going to tell everyone in the away end at Brentford. I'm not going to play that game, but
you see him. He's off.
Want to get out.
You see me, son? He's disappearing in 2 weeks. Sorry,
Yeah, I wonder who we're getting then if it's not him.
Newcastle also needs to sell for FFP.
I'm going nowhere to the Villa fans, and then bye 2 weeks later.
Yeah. Newcastle do need to sell though to be able to spend, don't they? Really, because they've got their own financial problems for all the sustainability rules and shit. Yeah. So if they can get Bruno off the books and make like a 50, 60 mil profit on him, I don't think they'll be too unhappy. So
and one thing I did get told is it's very much same with Paqueta. They don't want to do release clause. They don't want to go to the release clause. Right. Do you remember like Gabardio?
Are you sure?
No, but do you know what?
It's normally Shicky's way of business, isn't it?
No, do you know where they agreed with Gabardio and then they ended up getting him for less? And then we were all going, cheeky masterclass. He's got him for like, what was it, Tom? $1 million less than what he'd. They're trying to do that with Paqueta and Bruno. We'll do it.
Good luck doing that with another Premier League club.
It's weird how I'm not sure with payments. I got told it's something to do with payments and everything. They don't want to hit the full Mark.
I think a lot of add-ons will come into it.
But they will pay for Paqueta's release clause.
It also depends though, like if they've spoke to Kimmich and Kimmich is open to a move as well, you could probably get him for 50-55 mil because he's only got a year left on his deal.
Less than that.
Well, maybe whatever.
Much
The point
less.
is, it's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot less than Bruno. So if Pep's happy with Kimmich and City are happy with Kimmich, but they'd rather have Bruno, and they can't get any discount on Bruno, they're overpaying for Bruno, then just go and get Kimmich. Now he's a bit older, but he's worked with Pep
Not that much
Guardiola
older,
before.
though. I think he's only 29.
Yeah.
I think
So
Alvarez is a good one to keep an eye on, for next year.
who?
Alvarez.
Our Alvarez or the guy at West Ham?
No, our Alvarez.
What do you mean?
Because then it's his third year, and is he going to be? Where do you fit him in if it's not striker?
Yeah, I said this, Martin. I said this on, I can't remember where that
Where'd
was.
you
And
go
I
with
said,
it?
I don't think he'll be at City longer term, Alvarez. I don't mean this summer. I can't see that happening.
No, it won't go.
I
No, I'm
think he won't
thinking
fit.
more of the signings coming in and nobody going out again.
Yeah.
There are players we forget about. So I don't know how we do it.
That's who I was going. That's who I was going to say for the kind of player who hasn't had the praise this season. I think he's still got 30 goals and assists in all competitions or plus.
Yeah,
He's had a mad year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that
While
time he
everyone's been
covered
saying he's
Haaland as
shit.
well. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the time he covered Haaland through injury, picking up goals with that little link up from Foden as well. He's been great.
I think it comes down to how many games he gets this season, doesn't it? Really, because obviously the reason why he got so many this year is because De Bruyne was injured, and that's not going to happen every year. So it's like, well, do we end up? And obviously, if we're going to get to a point where we are, we've replaced De Bruyne or got someone in who, if De Bruyne does get injured, they step in instead of Alvarez sort of shunting in. Then we end up in a situation where Alvarez is literally just playing rotation games.
I would say as well with Alvarez, I feel like he took a lot of the brunt midway through the season for just the fact that Pep was playing him in that position, and it's sort of like it probably wasn't his fault that Pep was playing him there, but he's had a fantastic year. He only started 12 Prem games, which is a madness. So I agree.
Really?
Started.
Even
Well, that's
if he
what Sky
wants
said
to
yesterday,
go,
Joe.
Wow.
Even if he goes next season with making one fucking profit on him, I'll tell you that.
100%.
Yeah, but I've said this for a while. I've
60
said
mil sale.
unless Pep Guardiola can find a system to fit Haaland and Alvarez into the same team, then Alvarez is so good that someone big will come in for him and be like, come to our team, we'll play you as an actual striker. City will make a big cash on him, and then we'll just go and find another backup striker. So I don't want him to leave. I think he's great, but
Yeah.
Do you
I'm
think
not lifting anyone out. I'm just saying about the.
he's
that is a
basically
very-
he's the outfield version of Ortega. Basically,
It's a very
Ortega,
logical
I don't
one
want
to think
Ortega
about.
to leave, but he's probably going to leave because although people are saying he's going to stay now, apparently, but he's mint.
Just
Arsenal,
Yeah,
Sorry.
Tom.
I was
just want to
gonna
go back to Kimmich. A little quiz for you all. Pep has only ever signed one player that he's worked with before in his entire career. Do you know who that player is?
Thiago Alcantara.
Spot on.
Didn't we get linked with him once? Have I dreamt that somewhere?
Yeah.
Probably.
I think
He
it was
joined
at Bayern.
he joined the
before he
wrong
went to
team.
There
Liverpool,
was
yeah.
two. There was him and who was the guy at Bayern? The centre back, Benatia.
Benatia, yeah.
Right.
When he
Was
was
that the other one
he
we
was
got
at-
linked with earlier?
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
hell, that's
For
a
ages.
throwback, that.
Sorry,
He
I'm
was
sure
so good on FIFA. He was
Yeah,
so
so-
good on FIFA.
So
back
good
in
the
the day.
FIFA. I love that.
So the only
so
thing
good.
I'd say about Kimmich is, like, historically, Pep doesn't really go for players that he's worked with before.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Has he ever
I
said?
think he shows too much respect to his old clubs. I think it's as simple
Yeah.
as he doesn't like the fact that he leaves and then goes, right, I'll have your best player. Thank you
What about
very
if
much. I
Kimmich
think
wants to leave though, Joe?
well, that's the thing.
If Kimmich says to Bayern, I want to leave, and then he rings up Pep and says, I want to leave, sign me. Like, do you reckon he'll be like, nah, I can't?
Surely, yeah, because it's the same as Thiago. He signed because he didn't he have to hit a certain threshold of starts for Barca, and then if he didn't, which they didn't play him enough didn't play him enough times because the ownership are fucking stupid. A really low release clause became available, and so Bayern just went, right, we're gonna get that.
I think it was like 15. Yeah, it was 15, 20 million.
And if they didn't do it, obviously the logic is someone else will because it's Thiago Alcantara who's like really, really highly rated. So they just got him. And I think that obviously if Kimmich is a similar situation where it's like, I want to leave and you can get me relatively cheap and Bayern are happy for me to leave, I think it's I think it's difficult to sort of turn that down as Pep. But we've seen him we've probably seen him reject and turn down the opportunities to sign other previous players before.
I think it also comes into with Pep as well. I think he is such a kind of philosopher of developing players, and I feel like when he signed Kimmich and things like that from, I can't remember if it was Stuttgart or Leipzig, but it was one of the two.
Yeah, Stuttgart won it.
Yeah, I think he's kind of such a philosopher of developing players rather than kind of just grabbing players from other clubs that he's already worked with, and he kind of likes to see different traits from different players that he's spotted and be like, right, I can use this for this or use this for like X or Y, rather than just bringing the same players in and going, right, I know Kimmich can do this and he can do that, and he just kind of wants to develop football as a whole. I think it is a massive thing in his philosophy, rather than just other managers are typical, like, your old days of Harry Redknapp signing Nico Cranshaw, Peter Crouch and Jermaine Defoe. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just reminds me of that kind of thing when managers buy old players that they've worked with before on a regular basis.
Yeah, Kimmich won't happen. Don't see that one.
I think it could be Bruno, man. I think it's going to be Bruno. 'Cause as much as João Neves looked good in the one game that I looked against him, can he play further forward? Because ultimately, that's what you need, someone to be able to play like Gundogan could. Otherwise, they're just not going to play enough games.
He scored.
You know what I mean?
Has João Neves not scored a few goals this season? Like, he has done a fair bit of going forward and some goals in this.
It was like João Neves.
Yeah,
From Benfica, yeah.
See,
I just don't see it, man.
You know why I love it? Because he's
the
19,
release clause, though.
He's 19 and he's ran midfielders on it. He's ran the Benfica midfield on it.
Yeah, but is he not doing it from deep? Because when I watched him, he was doing his DM position. And I just don't think like.
Yeah,
he's a bit deeper, yeah, and I think it's what is it, 100 million release clause?
Yeah, it's about 105.
103.
Yeah, he's got 3 goals, 2 assists.
Yeah.
I just
If you've
think
got
like,
him,
you need
though-
someone further forward as well. Like Bruno
If
can
you-
play a little bit further forward.
If you have him, say if it is Neves, for example, and not Bruno, which I don't think it will be. I think Bruno's much more realistic. If you do have Neves, can that not sort of release Rodri to be the one who goes further forward instead? Because obviously we've seen, not in terms of him playing as like an 8 or anything like that. But if you're going to have, like Martin said before, a bit of a double pivot with Rodri and Bruno, or instead it's Rodri and Neves, like that can work in the same way as Bruno.
It's such a young lad to put that responsibility on.
Yeah.
To rely on if Rodri.
But also because he's 19, he's not going to come in and expect to play every week, is there? Like, he's going to expect to have time to bed in and learn. Whereas Bruno's going to want to come in and play every week.
But then you're spending 105 million on something.
I like it because the way, if you get Bruno and Rodri time out together,
Yeah.
Neves he's what, 7 years behind? So you've got the natural Rodri replacement. Whereas if you get, but listen, I'm all fine with Bruno, whatever. It's not our choice, I'll back whatever Pep wants to do. But Bruno and Rodri, you'd have to go and get 2 replacements at the same time.
Yeah, no, that's a good shout.
It's a bit like picking which Lamborghini you want to buy in it. It's like, it's not really. It's difficult, isn't it?
Problems, aren't we?
Yeah.
I'd like to know your problems, Joe, if that's the kind of problems you have.
Do I get the Bugatti Veyron or do I buy the Panther?
Yeah.
Which one do I go for?
What am I gonna buy today?
I'm having to think about which fucking bus to get on the morning.
I got something today I told Tony earlier. You know, the Versa Musiala, there was a third name I was given.
Oh,
Daddy Olmo.
Oh, this is for next summer.
It's got to be a creative player, isn't it?
Yeah, Martin Odegaard.
Fuck off.
Bro, these Arsenal fans are going to tap out, man.
Trolling at this point, don't you?
No.
Earlier on.
Your DMs are going to be full of abuse.
I know. They can't handle that, mate. You can't.
Sorry, I mean, I've just got your chat, total interaction after the show.
I know. Listen. That's crazy.
I know Musiala and Verts are the 2 main ones.
Yeah. Let me come to these super chats before we wrap up the show, guys. Big up to Irrational, says Silver leaving, just wants to play in the middle.
I think he just wants sunshine. I don't even think it's about football.
Yeah.
He has mentioned before though wanting he said that he finds it difficult playing different positions every week, and he just wants a bit of consistency. Now, I think for the last 2 or 3 months, he has had that. He's been playing on the right pretty consistently. I don't know if that's maybe altered his happiness at the club or whatever, but I know that when he was particularly keen on leaving, it was because he would play he'd play one game in the middle, he'd play another on the right, and then he'd play another on the left, and he'd played left back once or twice last season. Like he was used too much all over the place that it maybe makes you think, you know what, I just want to nail down a position and just play
last
it.
year I'd argue that Bernardo Silva last year was one of his best years ever in a City shirt.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely.
And actually, if you want my honest opinion, I think this year is probably one of his worst years in a City shirt. If you want my truthful opinion, and he's played right wing for the whole thing. So, for me, just because you're playing different positions, I think that shows how good you are as a football player.
Yeah.
Last year for me, I think it was his best season probably in a City shirt. It might be recency bias, but I think it is. Because this year he's played on the right a lot, and I think sometimes he's been slightly ineffective. So I don't know, man. I just think that's if you're a professional footballer like Bernardo and you can play so many different positions, like you shouldn't see it as like
probably
a bad thing.
There's probably a bit of an element of like completed it, mate. Like he's done now. Like football's done now. Like he's obviously that. Yeah, that now applies now that he's won the Super Cup and the Club World Cup as well. He literally has won everything that is available to him. I think it's a bit of a now this season, this summer in particular, it might be a case of probably why he signed the contract last season with a release clause that comes into effect this summer, so that he could win everything. And now this summer he's like, you know what? I just want to chill for the last 3 or 4 years.
If it was
he'll get a very good contract wherever he goes.
Of course, if it was me, I'd say, listen, he's 30, yeah? He'll be 32 in 2 years. I'd say, stick with us 2 more years and you go Benfica on a free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can give him another, because that was his original plan to go back to Benfica when he was 32. I'd give him another pay rise, put him on like the big cash, and then just say, when you're 32 in 2 years' time, you can go down a free.
Have we already done that though? Like in terms of giving him the big cash, did that contract last summer not do that? But also the release clause this summer, like so he
not
could.
To
so
the
if his
element
contract,
of.
So if his contract runs out, I mean, I don't know, but I don't know where's reliable to find out how much people are actually paid, because everything has like stupid numbers on it. Not many places are reliable. But would that contract last summer not? I'm sure it got mentioned at the time.
It probably did, but like
it gave him a pay rise that put him in line with like some of the top earners at the club, whilst also giving him that sort of exit clause for this summer if he wanted to go. So he's kind of put in a position now where, in theory, he can just be well paid for 2 years and leave on a free if he wants to, but also has a release clause available to him if he really still wants to go this summer.
He's on 300, which is he's on the same as Jack Grealish.
He signed a 1 year extension, didn't he?
Yeah, pretty much.
But if you basically say to him, listen, mate, don't go Barca, bro. They're in the mud. No, we'll put you on 350, so you're on more than Jack Grealish. They can't
afford him. Yeah.
Yeah, and then just say in 2 years we will let you go to Benfica on a free. Like, you got to try and convince. Just be like, you've already done 3 or 4 years when you didn't want to be here.
That game, though.
Well, just say you've already done 3, 4 years. You didn't want to be here. Do another 2.
And relax.
But I think it affects it differently now as well that he's got a child. I think.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that maybe might play in his mind as well. Does he want to kind of unsettle his? Is it a daughter? I don't know. I don't pay attention to them.
They're not fully over there full time, are they? They sort of timeshare.
I don't know. To be fair.
Is it Spain? No, I think the timeshare between the 2 areas.
He's still got his Christmas tree up in his apartment, hasn't he? So,
does anyone think that Benfica just pay it this summer, and he goes back there and just like does that early?
If they sell Neves,
if they're going to get fat money for João Neves this summer, which they probably will, if it's not us, like I think like a PSG or like a Bayern or someone like that will just pay whatever it is.
The best for our books, Joe, would be to do a swap deal.
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
Do you know how we did the?
We pay it.
Doesn't go down as a swap. You remember the Danilo Cancelo deal?
Yeah.
That's separate.
Yeah.
That would probably. But I suppose we'd just find out.
Yeah, but can I just jump in, right? To pay 50 million, right? Let's say we bought Neves 53 million and Bernardo. That would be balmy business to buy an 18-year-old kid. No matter how.
But it's not, is it? It's you because it isn't him plus Bernardo. It's just 53 million net that we've bought him for. I hate using the word net and shit because it fucks me off really badly. But like, it's just, you know what I mean? It's on the books. It's like you've got in 50 mil for a player and you've spent 103. So you've effectively spent 53 mil on João Neves, which, if that's the
But lost
case,
Bernardo.
but if Bernardo's going anyway to like
But it's
Barca or
also-
Atletico or whatever, like if someone offered you now João Neves for 53 mil, would you take it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Then, so yeah, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? If you put it that
It's
way.
another thing. I think it's another thing as well. Like talking about the books there, kind of thing. I think the amortization comes into that as well. Rather than paying 100 million for someone and spreading it across 6 years, you're paying 50 million and you're spreading that across 6 years. So you're making the books look a lot cleaner as well.
They
Luke,
have money, by the way, as well. They have money, right? This last summer, yeah, they made about 10 million profit. The year before, they made 150 million pound profit. The year before that, they made 25 million pound profit.
They
Like,
do it
they're
every
not-
year, Benfica.
Yeah, so they've got the money to spend 50 million euros, mate. And City are not going to demand that all up in one. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Built to Tinsay says 353 Grimpong. I guess he means Frimpong. Maybe it's Grimpong. Someone we don't know who he is.
Maybe he's miserable. I don't know.
Hang on a sec. 3-5-3. Are we playing 12 players?
3-5-3. 5-7. We're not having a goal there.
Very true. Very true. We don't have no goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Tinsay.
I wouldn't mind
Fly
three.
goal
I
left.
wouldn't-
Fly
one-
goal
one
left.
six. If we're gonna have
Edison's
Gvardiol
just
and-
playing the sweeper, like in that back three.
yeah, if we're gonna have if we are gonna have Gvardiol and Frimpong, though, I wouldn't hate a system that does have both Haaland and Alvarez in the middle. If those two are just
Oh,
pinging
100%.
stuff
That's
into
what I
the
always
box.
say. This is what we did when we had Gabriel Jesus and Aguero with Mendy and Walker. And that
Yeah.
system actually was mint, bro. Was
Yeah,
mint.
yeah.
I always reference that. We played a game at Bournemouth, yeah, in that season, and it was unreal. They had mad width, yeah, and you had the wing backs just whipping in crosses. You had two strikers in the penalty area. Because how many times do we get a crossing and it's just Haaland just stood there on his own? Like it was nice, man. So I'd be open to it. And
Was that
you know,
the
Pep
Liverpool
does
game
like
as
to
well,
do his
wasn't it?
system again.
But was it a Liverpool game we beat them 5-0 when it was Aguero and Jesus together?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah. So I'd be game
But
for
it's
it.
Pep in it. Pep doesn't always go. Because the trouble is, again, that 3-5-2, Bernardo becomes the kicker inside it. It's Bernardo who becomes the extra player in.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Facts. Big up to Prodigal says we can loan Nunes, Bob, and Rico if you need to make space for one season.
And they're not loaning Nunes is money all back, or because they have got plans for Nunes and they do.
They got plans for what?
God.
Nunes.
What, to leave?
No. To play. To play.
I think he becomes big next.
You-
Well,
you
I'm
want him out?
I'm
You
genuinely
want him
asking you a
out?
question. I'm genuinely asking you a question.
No,
Have you got plans for him to
right.
leave? Is that what you're saying?
No, because he has been practicing as right wing back.
All right.
Oh no, that means we're not signing Frimpong, doesn't it? That means that it's going to be like, if Kyle Walker stays, man, and we put Nunes at right back instead of fucking buying Frimpong. I'm gonna. Mate, you think the Walker agenda's bad this season? It's going to get even worse next year. It means we don't sign Frimpong.
Maybe it's just a positional that you don't like. You don't like the right backs, innit?
No, I
Yeah.
think it's just, no, but they are really happy with Nunes and training. And he's
Honestly, did anyone sort of notice from the full-time celebrations? It looks like everyone in the squad loves him. It looks like it looks like he fits in really well.
I'm
'Cause he
sure
doesn't
he
know
was
when he don't
drinking off
play.
the bench as
Yeah.
well. He looked pissed. Like when he lifted that trophy as well, he looked half cut.
Yeah, what a guy.
Big up to Eddie says, what's going to happen with Perone and Echeverri?
Loads.
Perone apparently is probably going to be sold, but he's apparently had a great season, by all accounts, at wherever he is. Las Palmas, I think
Las
he is.
Palmas, yeah.
Echeverri, I'm looking forward to Echeverri. I hope it works. From what I've seen, he looks a mad talent. And he's probably going to come in.
2-11s at this rate. No one's leaving.
Well, no. Echeverri will probably come in when KDB's gone anyway. So,
Yeah,
you
he'll
know.
be a year or
Where
two
you
off.
putting
I think-
Musiala or Verts then?
Well, maybe you won't need him if Echeverri lives up to the hype. Echeverri's slamming it, bro. You need to do some
Echeverri's
River
like-
Plate watch-alongs. You need to
He's
get...
a kid.
Yeah, he's good.
He's actually very good.
Oh!
Thank you.
Yo, it's not even December in the Christmas.
Nice. That's a good one, that one. He's
Keep a day job, Joe, please.
Dylan says, yesterday Ortega confirmed he wants to stay. He said apparently there aren't really any reasons not to stay here. I think I played 19 games, so I'm getting my game time. I feel good here, my family as well, there would need to be offers which are much better than City. And currently, I don't see that.
Oh my God, really?
Well, that's what someone's tweeted.
Yeah, he's looking like he's going to stay, but he'll get a release clause.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Is it
Sweet.
Bayern Munich in a couple of seasons to replace Neuer?
I
Have you
think
heard
now
about
would be the
that
time
release
to replace
clause,
him.
Yeah.
Someone said it's about 35 million.
That's
If we
the only
can
thing I
keep him,
think.
yeah, that's one of the best things we can do this season as a football club, by the way, because he is unbelievable. I've never seen any club, really, where if the main keeper gets injured, literally no one's asked. Not in a nasty way to Edison, just in sort of like a, no one looks at Ortega. In fact,
confidence.
there are City fans out there who'd rather Ortega be the number one. That's how good he is.
Did
been-
I was chatting to someone about this last week actually. He is one of City's top 3 City's Premier League goalkeepers of all time in it. Like it's Hart, Edison, and him. Like in whatever order you want. Like who else is better out of it than them in the Premier League era?
I can't
It's
lie.
not Claudio.
I
It's not.
loved Shay Given. I did. I
Yeah.
absolutely loved him. I remember I used to sit in standing 111, and the amount of times that you'd see him doing press ups and sit ups in the box when the ball was at the other end of the pitch. Just
What a guy.
Given was a good goalkeeper, but I think
Yeah, yes.
I think
Have you
Ortega
clearly
probably is
forgot-
for me.
Joe, have you
Oh,
clearly
no.
forgot Pantilimon?
Pantilimon, Claudio Bravo, Willie
Yeah.
Caballero.
Yeah,
Caballero, penalty specialist.
yeah.
I'll tell you someone even
Yeah.
better than all of them. Arnie Arneson. What a goalie he was.
Oh, yeah,
No,
Tottenham.
I've never seen a goalie display like what he did on his debut at Tottenham.
Yeah,
that was-
amazing. That's the FA Cup one, wasn't it?
Yeah, the one when he did a literally forward roll,
Yeah.
still got up and managed to knock it around the post. It was like, I thought he was an acrobat, not a goaler. The way he was launching himself around, that was a mad night.
Hey, remember we had David Seaman for 6 months, didn't we, as well?
Yeah.
David James.
Hey, we went top of the league when
Top
we beat
striker.
Blackburn on the Monday night. Never saw him again. He got
Isaacson.
injured the next home game and retired.
Yeah,
Saying that, I still
Isaacson.
remember Andy Dibble, so you're all right. And Ike Himmel, who's sadly not in a good place right now.
Andy Dibble with the
Schmeichel.
Crosby header. I remember that very well. Took it out of his hands. Sorry, I'm gone one off.
Yeah, me and Tony going down the bloody reminiscing.
Yeah.
40
Yeah,
years
yeah,
ago.
you two just
I'll
having
tell
a
you
good
what.
chat, innit? You know what I mean?
All right. Do you remember
Tell
Alan
you what,
Kernahan,
I'll-
Tone?
Tony Coater.
I was learning them all with David White the other night.
Mm.
He
Oh,
was
I've
my
seen that.
favourite ever player. Him.
Yeah, I got to meet him. the
David
other
White
night,
was my
actually.
boy.
Oh, man.
Oh, I saw on Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, he did like for a supporters club, Harrogate. Shout out to them, they're a brilliant supporters group. Yeah, he did like his evening and just promoted kind of him as a City fan, and it was a brilliant night to be fair, and such a lovely bloke, and a really sad kind of story a little bit. If you know why, obviously it's not my place to say it. That's for him to tell everyone. But yeah, incredible person, and yeah, learned a lot about the club from him, talking about it. So, yeah, it was a
By the
very
way,
good
can we
night.
big up Doku from yesterday? Because I thought it was fabulous.
Incredible, yeah.
He was
Yeah,
good
brilliant.
yesterday. He was. I think he's actually looked a lot better towards the end of the season. He's held the ball up a lot better. He's not just been spamming take-ons every time he
Yeah,
gets the
he
ball.
doesn't
He's been
spam crossing.
pick-
Just spam
no, he's
crossing.
been picking and choosing his moments a lot better. And I think he's a player that needs a lot of work, right? But I think it's worth putting in the effort, because if you can get him to have that output, my God, it's going to be scary, because he just goes past players with ease.
I
just
think that rest
there was-
helped him as well.
Yeah, no, I just think earlier on in the season, he was probably playing in some games where maybe we didn't need that at that time. But I think he's going to be an exceptional player if we can just sort of improve that. And he's already looking like he's improving as the season's gone on. So, absolute facts. Listen, big up you guys for jumping on. Luke has just launched his new YouTube channel. Links in the description. So make sure you subscribe. Mancunian Way, links in the description there as well. Big up to Bevo, Tone, and Joe as well for coming on. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure you drop a like on the stream. Make sure if you're watching back on replay, give us your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. I'm going on Football's 12-Man podcast now as well, speaking about the season. So stream will redirect you to that.
You go on
I don't know. I've got a little document on my PC of everything I can say to try and wind up Arsenal fans. So I might say I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
just say you fancy Odegaard will look good in blue. Not really.
Yeah, that's a new one. That's a new one. Yeah, I think by just saying, I think you needed to try and win at the Etihad. I think that they really don't like that one. They really.
You've got some metal on you if you go in with that one.
Yeah, they don't like it. They don't like it. Anyway, listen.
Shit the bed at Etihad, you'd have been all right.
Big up, guys. Guys, smash a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later.
Take care.